Elon Musk, speaking on the battery cost of electric vehicles, says iron alleviates the problem. About 3 days ago, Dr. Maximilian Holland published an in-depth article in Clean Technica about the upcoming Tesla Battery Day and Tesla's battery advances, asking, has Elon Musk already leaked the battery technology that will give scale to the electric vehicle revolution? Elon tweeted a reply to that story after it was shared on Twitter, writing, "No, but you make some great points." Then Elon, in his tweet, goes into some more details in his response, writing about the battery cost and what alleviates the problem. In this report, let's take a look at Dr. Holland's story in Clean Technica, discuss some of his points about electric battery cost, nickel and iron, and what makes the problem. Then we will apply Elon's tweet to that and we'll have a picture of what some great points Dr. Holland made in his article. Welcome back, dear friends. This is Armen Harayan from TorqueNews.com. If you are here for the first time, please subscribe to our channel for daily in-depth Tesla news and ring the bell so you don't miss my next Tesla story. First, in his article, Dr. Holland breaks down what Elon Musk has already said, writing the following. Here is what Elon already said in Q2 call for those who didn't catch in the first time around. I'm going to paraphrase some and I'm going to quote some. The real limitation on Tesla growth is cell production at an affordable price. That's the real limit. So that's why we're going to talk a lot more about this on Battery Day, because this is the fundamental scaling constraint. In another place, Elon said there is two general classes of cell. There is iron phosphate, LFP, and then the nickel-based battery cell. Nickel-based cells have higher energy density, so longer range. Obviously, those are needed for something like the semi, where every unit of mass that you add in the battery pack, you have to subtract in cargo. So it's very important to have a mass-efficient and long-range pack. And in another place, Elon said, however, what we're seeing with our passenger vehicles is that total vehicle efficiency has gotten good enough that we actually are comfortable having an LFP pack in Model 3 in China, and that will be in volume production later this year. So we think that getting a range that is in the high 200 miles, you probably get a range of almost 300 miles with an iron phosphate pack, taking into account a whole bunch of powertrain and other vehicle efficiencies, Elon Musk said on 2020 Q2 Tesla earnings call. Holland also says he has written extensively on LFP, which is non-nickel LFP batteries, and writes Elon Musk's statement seems unambiguous to him. He says, in short, LFP is by far the cheapest and most scalable in production volume electric vehicle battery chemistry that exists today and for the foreseeable future, being at least 20% cheaper in terms of dollars versus kilowatt hour at the pack level than nickel cobalt battery packs. If LFP is now a suitable technology fit for Tesla's higher sales volume vehicles, it would be crazy of Tesla not to use LFP. He continues saying, true, LFP does not have the highest energy density. True, it doesn't have the image of the most glamorous or best battery technology out there. But don't let appearances fool you. It is precisely LFP's low cost and potentially massive production scale that the electric vehicle revolution needs in order to displace combustion engine vehicles. Then he makes a big point saying to satisfy the mass market, electric vehicles don't need extreme range. They need low cost and higher manufacturing volume. Holland also says the technology capabilities for the broad acceptance of electric vehicles are in place, but mass market dominance requires lower prices than electric vehicles have been offered at up till now. Battery packs are by far the most costly single component of electric vehicles, and so reducing the battery cost is key. His next big point in the Clean Technica article is that nickel cobalt will continue to have an important role for Tesla's Halo showcase products. Holland writes, as should be clear by now, nickel cobalt batteries are not as cost competitive but have energy density advantages over LFP batteries, and they have more room to gain and more quickly gain in energy density in the future. Given the discussion above, obviously this higher energy density is no longer strictly required for capable enough for mass market electric vehicles and struggles to compete with LFP on cost for this class of vehicles. However, he continues, the energy density advantage of nickel cobalt will remain very relevant for Halo battery electric products like very long range electric vehicles over 300 miles or even 400 miles and of range, and high performance electric vehicles where relative life and weighting is still very desirable. This obviously includes Tesla's semi-trucks where vehicle weight inversely correlates with available cargo payload, as Elon set out above. Talking about the cost advantages of LFP batteries, Holland also writes saying, over time, both nickel and cobalt can steadily be mined more extensively, but mining projects have a very long lead time, and the mineral supply squeeze is already setting a looming cost floor for how cheaply nickel cobalt batteries can be made in the medium term, and obviously setting limits on the quantities in which these batteries can be made. Nickel cobalt chemistries still work out around $100 per kilowatt hour at the pack level, even for the highest volume contracts from the lowest cost supplies. And he also says LFP avoids all these constraints due to the relatively huge abundance of the constituent minerals currently mined, iron, phosphate, and increasingly trace manganese, and consequently the LFPs, the low mineral pricing. LFP has already reportedly achieved $80 per kilowatt hour at the pack level, reportedly, and still has potential to come down much further over time since it is nowhere near the mineral cost floor. LFP's mineral components are so abundant that even when almost all vehicles sold are EVs, there will be more than enough minerals to supply the batteries required. This is where we will apply Elon Musk's tweet. Elon tweeted writing that important to know that iron's cost advantage is partly offset by increased pack mass, so the fully considered cost is closer to nickel. That said, iron alleviates much of the scaling problem. Let me repeat this one more time. Elon said, it is important to note that iron's cost advantage is partly offset by increased pack mass, so the fully considered cost is closer to nickel. That said, iron alleviates much of the scaling problem. Let me explain this. Elon is saying that LFP batteries in which iron is heavily used is heavier, and that offsets the cost of nickel, and they are considered the cost is closer to nickel. But because if you want to scale the production of batteries, iron alleviates the problem of scaling problem because there isn't that much nickel in the world. And Holland concludes writing, Tesla's Roadrunner nickel batteries will incorporate all of Tesla's battery technologies and break new ground in overall performance terms. These will enable Tesla's cutting-edge vehicles to stay well out in front in headline performance, range, charging, and longevity specifications. They will also become the most cost-competitive nickel-based cells that Tesla has access to. Tesla will keep Roadrunner in-house or in tight manufacturing partnerships, Panasonic and or LG, and gradually expand Roadrunner production volume in Austin, Berlin, and possibly in the other gigafactories that we have now and we have in the future. In fact, go to torquenews.com/Tesla to see what we think will be the future of Tesla Panasonic battery partnership relationships between after the Tesla Battery Day. There is a very interesting article by our Tesla reporter Tinsai Aregai published at torquenews.com. Well, friends, let me know what you think about the difference and cost and the points that Holland and Elon Musk made about the LFP versus nickel cobalt batteries and their cost advantages. And as Elon said, LFP is good because iron helps to alleviate the scaling problem. In the meantime, this is Armen Harayan from torquenews.com. Please subscribe to our channel for daily Tesla news. Ring the bell so you don't miss my next Tesla story, and I'll see you in our next story later today. God bless you. Take good care of each other, your families, your children on this weekend, and peace be with all of you. See you soon.